All right, so tonight we are talking about the Tinder explosion that has gone off in the last couple of years in the dating world. And, Tinder is not the only app these days. There's a million different apps that are designed to help us date. But one of the most common things and questions or issues that I get with my clients that are single and dating out there is that they feel overwhelmed. They feel like they're just another page in a book for everybody else out there, and that they're sort of disposable. And that, unfortunately, is sort of the culture that has been created by apps like Tinder and Coffee and a Bagel, Bumble, all the different dating apps that are out there. But tonight I'm going to help you try to sort through all the chaos and get the relationship that you truly want, to weed out all of that unnecessary dating and to be able to clearly identify who it is that you want to spend more time with and how to get that person to want to spend more time with you. So one thing that I have noticed with my clients who do Tinder and all these different, and I'm just saying Tinder because I'm not dating anymore, and I know that that's a dating app. But I know my clients are on lots of different apps. One thing that I notice is that people will go on dates and they really like the person, and then they never hear from them again. There's this concept of ghosting where I have seen people form entire relationships. They get connected on Facebook, on Instagram, Snapchat, all that kind of stuff, and maybe they're in different states, and then the other person just decides it's not for them and ghosts them, shuts them off, disconnects, unfriends, all of that kind of stuff. And that really speaks to that sort of disposable nature that a lot of these dating apps have created. So I've identified the problem thoroughly, I think. I think a lot of you guys, if you're watching this, have felt disposable and have felt like, I'm just going on a million dates, and is this even really worth it anymore? And what am I doing? Am I just spinning my wheels? So the suggestion that I have for all of my clients and for you guys watching is to shift the way that you are being in these dates. From the moment that you make first contact until the moment that you send that text that says you had a really good time. And what I mean by that is being able to take off the last page and create a completely blank slate when you're going on a date with each person, so that you've almost created this scenario where this person got up the courage to ask you out, or you got up the courage to ask this person out, maybe organically in a grocery store or through a friend, and you're so excited to be with this one person, and you want to get to know them, and there is no other person, maybe for a couple months. Almost like when people were dating in the 80s and 90s, right? Where there was no, you had to call someone on the phone, and you had to get their number, and you had to have the courage to ask them if they were single, and most of the time they weren't. So when people went on dates back then, they were in that mentality of like, oh, I need to make this work, right? And now we're in the mentality of, if it's not 100% awesome, I'm going to throw it out and find something else. And the reality is a lot of people are ending up alone that way. So being able to first throw off all of the pages of all the dates before that haven't worked, to be able to come into each date with a sort of clean slate and a sense of specialness for the person that's sitting in front of you. So the way that you do that is you recall a memory or a thought of someone in your life that you really love. It could be a grandparent, it could be a nephew or a niece, it could be a child, it could be a brother or a sister. And the person has to be the same gender of the person that's sitting in front of you. So let's say that you're thinking of your sister Karen. That girl sitting in front of you is someone's Karen. If you're thinking of your child, that is Brian, and that guy's in front of you, that guy is someone's Brian. So remembering that each person that's sitting in front of you is a human, that they're a person, that they have vulnerabilities, and they had moments in their life that they weren't proud of, and they have wants and desires and needs, and they've got a lot of vulnerability on the table tonight. And so remembering how very delicate each person is, and that the person that they're presenting to you may not be wholly representative of the person that they are, that they're nervous, that they want to put their best foot forward, that they need signs from you if you're into it, and if you're not into it, then I'm not into it. And so creating a sort of shift in dynamic where you are there with that person. You're not checking your phone, you're not checking your messages, you're not uninterested, you're listening to them. And you're listening to them with no ulterior motive other than just to feel like that person can feel heard at the end of the night. Even if you are on a date and you feel like, I don't know that I'm necessarily vibing with this person, I don't know that I'm necessarily feeling it, being able to sit in front of someone and treat them with human dignity and respect and kindness. If we can start to do that, we will shift the Tinder culture that is out there. We will transform our dating relationships, because what we're doing is we're signaling to the person that I am not a number and you're not a number, and I need to be treated better than that. I am somebody with substance. I'm somebody with depth. And so instead of trying to relay that through whatever you're going to try to talk to them about, whatever your talking points are, getting to know that other person that's sitting across the table from you and treating them the way that you would want to be treated after a date. So telling them that you're having a really good time, telling them that they're really funny, telling them that they're very charming, giving a phone call the next day, not waiting that silly 48-hour rule, but giving them a phone call the next day and being like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I had a really good time. When do you want to go out again? Just sort of being completely transparent in yourself and confident in yourself, and not in a needy way, but just sort of having a no bones about it. This is who I am. I think I like you. I had a good time last night. Do you want to go out again? I guarantee if you have this approach, it will pull in the right people to you. It will attract the right people, the people that are sincere and genuine in their interest of having a relationship. All right, guys, I hope that helps you daters out there. I hope it helps you become coupled up, and you can take my couple courses after that. All right, thanks, guys.